Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. There you go. Happy 2023, everybody. I don't know.
Let's go.
Hope it's a good one. I don't know, Lewis, I don't know if you made any New Year's resolutions or anything like that.
Not really.
I made two. One was to drink less, and the other was to not gloat when bad things happen to Kevin McCarthy. Oh for 2. Because, my friends, you are my friends. It has been a day of pure, uncut Peruvian blue flake schadenfreude, watching the GOP stab each other in the throat. And tonight, I'll peel back the many layers of the stupidity in a drama we're calling Ass Onion, a Kev's Out mystery. Let me get this straight. Now, let me see. I might just be a Louisiana detective. Let me set the stage for you. Today is the first day of the 118th Congress. Fun fact, before anything can happen in the House, they have to select a speaker. That's the rules. McCarthy has long dreamed of having the job, and when Republicans won control in November, he seemed like a shoo-in. But Kevin McCarthy has one major weakness. His weakness. As of this taping, is this still true? As of this taping, he is still not Speaker of the House. Swing and a miss.
Hey.
He needs 218 votes to win, but in the first 2 votes, he got only 203. Okay, he lost twice, but you know what they say, third time's he also lost. Matter of fact, the third time, is this true? The third time, McCarthy ended up with even fewer votes than the first 2 rounds.
No.
Ouch!
Youch! Youchers!
But remember, there's more important things in life than winning or losing. There's making fun of Kevin McCarthy for losing. Because he did lose. They adjourned for the day with no speaker, right? They're gone. They called it. All right. And this is an historic depantsing. Because a speaker vote has not gone to even a second ballot in a century. That was back in 1923 when the House deadlocked over the radical and controversial candidacy of Congressman Flapper Jasmine. So far, McCarthy is not backing down. His plan appears to be to continue voting over and over again in a bid to wear down his detractors until he gets the gavel. You know, Kevin, you can just buy a gavel. I did. And I find you guilty.
Still got you.
After the first disastrous vote, Kevin McCarthy tried to stay positive, walking around with a big fake grin on what historians are calling his face. Look at that footage. It really looks like Kevin McCarthy enjoys watching Kevin McCarthy get humiliated. Maybe he does really understand the American people. But McCarthy's allies seem prepared for the long haul, with one saying, if they think this is going to be a game of chicken to see who's going to blink first, they're going to be sadly surprised. Really? You know a game of chicken does not involve blinking, right? Are you thinking of a staring contest with a chicken? Because if that's true, you're going to be sadly surprised. According to the internet, technically speaking, chickens do not blink. Don't do it. Boy, this guy's chicken metaphor turned out to be a real canary in a china shop. Now, what makes Kevin's anguish particularly delicious is that it's no secret that he has dreamed of being Speaker of the House for years. Reportedly, interns in his office are already expected to call him Mr. Speaker. And this weekend, staffers were seen moving his boxes into the Speaker's office. I wouldn't be in a big hurry to unpack. He may not be great at counting votes, but he's good at counting chickens before they hatch. Hey, little advice. Once they do hatch, Kevin, do not get into a staring contest with them. You will lose. Again, until they select a speaker, nothing happens. No one's even allowed to be sworn in to the House, which might be a good thing because one of those people is Republican representative and kid at the slumber party who'd rather hang upstairs with your mom, George Santos. Santos just got elected in New York, and we recently learned that during the campaign, he lied about, and I'm rounding down here, everything. So grab a snack, stay hydrated. This might take a minute. For starters, during his campaign, Santos claimed to have attended both Baruch College and New York University, but neither school could locate records to verify his claims. So he may not have graduated, but he did get his BS. And it's not just higher ed. Sure, why not? And it's not just higher ed. Santos claims he attended a prestigious high school here in New York, but a spokesman there says that school also had no record of his attending. It's one thing to lie about your college, but lying about your high school is sad. Next, we're gonna find out he fabricated his transcript in kindergarten. Come on, George, is this even your macaroni necklace? It's real. Santos also lied about working at Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, backtracking later, saying the language in his resume stated that he had worked for, not on, or at, or in. Okay, except that for is the preposition that makes it seem most like you worked for a company. No, I said I cheated with Rebecca, not in or at, though sometimes under. You guys want more lies?
Bring it on.
I've never asked that question before. Well, you're in luck. Because Santos also admitted to lying when he claimed that he owned 13 different properties, when in reality, he resides at his sister's place in Huntington. Should have known when he said the properties were Boardwalk, Baltic Avenue, Marvin Gardens, and a Scotty dog the size of a top hat. So all of this is bad and should be disqualifying for public office, but it could be worse, and it is, because he also claimed his mother died in the September 11th attacks, then clarified that she passed away a few years later, then re-clarified that she actually died in December of 2016. That is a horrible thing to lie about. His poor mother must be spinning in all of her graves. So, pretty bad that he lied about his mom dying on 9/11, but that seems kind of quaint when you learn that Santos also said his grandparents survived the Holocaust as Ukrainian Jewish refugees, a claim that is not supported by genealogical records. In fact, they were born in Brazil. So technically, they did survive the Holocaust by never being in Europe. That's a pretty big lie, but Santos had a clever out with this statement: I never claimed to be Jewish, I am a Catholic. Because I learned my maternal family had a Jewish background, I said I was Jew-ish. Well, sure. In fact, that's a whole separate religion, to be Jew-ish. You celebrate Rosh Hashanah, and Hanukkah by eating a big matzah ham sandwich. These are all terrible, terrible lies, but lying to get into office isn't illegal. You know what is illegal? This next thing. Because back in 2008, while living in Brazil, Santos went to a small clothing store and spent nearly $700 using a stolen checkbook and a false name. Now, in his defense, he needed something nice to wear to his mother's 10th funeral. Santos denies committing the crime, but he's got a bit of an uphill battle here because in the legal filing, Santos is identified by his full name and date of birth, as well as by the names of his mother's father. Also, Santos confessed to the crime, and the only reason the case remained unresolved was because authorities were later unable to locate him. So Santos is on the lam, and his brilliant idea was to run for Congress. It reminds me of that movie, Catch Me, You Can. Movie. There's another one, right? The one earlier. Is it Fixer? Oh, But despite all of his lies coming out, Santos's campaign remained defiant, releasing this statement: As Winston Churchill famously stated, you have enemies, good. It means that you've stood up for something sometime in your life. Well said. And in true Santos fashion, it's also not an actual quote from Winston Churchill. And he responded to that controversy with the famous George Washington quote, "You're a wizard, Harry." We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Quinta Brunson and Tom Papa. But when we come back, I give the Colbert questionnaire to Michelle Obama right over there. Stick around.